Zoom, 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 let go.
What up, what up, what up? You can't see me here today, back again. You already knew what it is. Rimworld Alpha 12, a colony builder simulator by Tynan, Sylvester, and we are back again, picking up where we left off. Y'all know how it is. What's up? Hope everybody's doing well. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Leave comments if you've started playing or you are interested in Rimworld. You can pick it up at the website. It was originally a Kickstarter. It will be available on Steam soon. So we're on the Alpha 12, the 12th upgrade of the series, which added animal taming. And with the taming of animals, you can use them to attack. You can use some to haul. It depends on the animal. Animals like dogs or alpacas, camel type animals, they can haul. Other animals are just there to breed. You can sell them. It's very interesting. So at this point, well, picking up from the last vid, we did a lot of housekeeping, wall building, renovating, things of that nature, trying to secure our domain a little better. I faced some raids, some outside attacks, and my turrets were not as effective because there was no barriers with which the enemies had to go around to come in and then be kind of surprised with the turret blasting at them from, 100 or so feet away, or 1,000 feet. They were able to kind of stand back and use ranged attacks to destroy. So I wanted to make it more effective. I also built some structures for building food for my animals outside and things of that nature. Adding some ventilation. The complexity of this game is very intense, very deep. This is a very deep game. It's simplistic in graphic, or simplistic in aesthetics, but it's very complex in gameplay. Very complex on the back end. There's so much you can build, so much you can control, from the positioning, the stationing. I see a heat wave. We facing a heat wave. But the positioning or the stationing of your animals, of your colonists, you can control the patterns. You can control, what they do, when they work, when they sleep. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. So, let's see. We're facing a heat wave. And these are the types of elements that get thrown at you in Rimworld. Heat waves, cold snaps, where it drops to basically below freezing temperatures. The heat waves can be very bad because people will face heat strokes, and they do deal with all types of physical ailments similar to like real life. You'll face it in this game. When people become very unhappy, they're hot because the whole, we'll just call this the home. The whole interior of the home is 100 degrees. It's just like your house. It's 100 degrees, or if it's outside, I mean, you're in there. You don't want to go outside. You don't want to go to work. You do it because you have to. And so when your AC is limited, it makes it tough. It makes you try to find ways to cool yourself off, whether it's fans, whether it's going in the freezer, you have to get creative. So in this game, they have air conditioning units and heat units, and also like wood fires you can burn in the winter or when it's cold. So one of the things they added in updates as well was like ventilation systems. So I have vents in these two lower rooms. You see the silver squares that are on the wall. They're vents right there. Yes, that's a ventilation system. And it just lets the temperature spread between the rooms. But with the realism, that the temperature can't fully, or the more rooms you try to fill up with ventilation, the more the temperature, whether it's hot or cold, will dissipate, or it'll balance it out. So I'm actually deconstructing this wall, and I'm going to put an AC unit here. And AC units can also it's weird because you can use it as a death room or a death trap. AC units on one side produce cold. On the opposite side, if you see the red, they produce heat. Now that heat, if it's another closed room on the other side, I mean, it'll be hundreds of degrees. And it can kill people. You could actually make a room in older renditions where you could lock the doors, and if enemies went in that room, Or if visitors went in the room, you can put a table in there. They'll eat your food. They'll go in the room. It's 120 degrees and you lock them in there and they die. And you take all of their clothes. You take all of their weapons. That's a cool way to add more resources and sell them or use them for your colonists. So I'm going to build some AC units and I'm going to use the vents to spread it. The only problem that I know I'm going to face is the coldness will only spread so far. So the first room is going to be very cold. The next room will be slightly less cold. The third room will be slightly less cold. Probably by the time we get to the fourth or fifth room, the coldness won't even affect it, or the AC won't even affect it. It'll still be 90 or so degrees. If you look on the right side of the screen below the yellow and blue squares, Heatwave, Visitor, and the Bulk Goods Trader, you'll see the temperature. Outdoors is 118 degrees. Wow. Indoors a little cooler, but we're still in the 90s inside our home, and that is not cool. So like I said, I'm going to break down all these walls because these are my bedrooms. Break down all the walls by the bedrooms and add vents and hope that this AC will spread through each sleeping area so that my colonists won't be uncomfortable as they sleep. So yeah, this is the type of microscopic details that are involved in this game. And you really have to use real elements of science, of math, you know, and just common sense abilities or issues, you know, dealing with real life, but real scientific and temperature issues, as well as other things dealing with health and management. So this is a thinker's game. This is very much so a thinker's game. But I find it interesting, and it's worth playing. No matter what you like, definitely worth a playthrough. So I'm bringing metal. Oh, and I need to pay attention to how much steel I have, because steel is one of the resources that you have. You know, you have wood, you have steel. You get things like plasteel, cloth for making clothes, meat for making food, zergium, which is a resource you grow that's used for medicine. So right now I need more steel, or I'm getting low on steel. And I was trying to see what I was making that wall out of. I think that wall I was making out of granite. I mean, you get granite, marble, and you can choose to make walls of different structures from the different types of materials that you have, different types of blocks. And then of course they have different levels of resiliency. Wood, it can burn up, you know, a lot easier than say steel or granite. So you want to take that into consideration when you're building. And of course you got to take into consideration how much of the resource you have, how much of the resource is readily available, how much money you have through trading and selling, because you may be able to buy a lot more. So I'm manually forcing them to build because they go and do what their needs demand at the time. C was hungry, he wanted to eat, but I need him to finish these vents. And I'm going to have to make another AC unit somewhere, because this isn't filling the whole area like I need to. Then I need AC for the other interior areas of the structure of the home. I just call it my home. Home base. Yeah, that sounds good. Of home base. So these are grow rooms right here with hydroponic basins. Those rooms I don't care so much about the heat because they won't be in there that much, and it probably helps the plants to grow better. But other rooms where people have to work, people have to sleep, people have to eat, we definitely need it to be cool. So right now I'm tearing down walls and I'm going to build 2 more AC units. The more AC units you combine, the more they can produce. It kind of in essence makes them one larger unit, producing more wattage. I think you also have to take into consideration when you build units or your units that take electricity is how much electricity or how much wattage is being used, which takes from your electricity producing structures. To the left, these green elements are solar panels. You see I have a lot of solar panels because of course it takes a lot of solar panelage to power homes or different structures, as opposed to burning coal, burning nuclear elements. Right now, the most convenient is solar panels, but you can use steam and put a generator on it. And I actually had to build a steam generator as well. But like I said, solar panels or solar powered panels are a lot more convenient. This is my forest over here. I actually manually planted that forest because you do need wood, and you chop down the trees that you have and then they're gone. A lot of this area where we have our food growing were trees, and that I had to chop them down initially to build a lot of what's inside the home base. So like I said, you also have to grow your food. You start with something simple like potatoes, then you expand to strawberries or rice, different things. And actually in the modded versions of Rimworld, people add a lot more that you can grow. But you may need seeds. You may grow and harvest from it, and then that allows you to grow other things, or you have to research. And as you research, you learn about more things that you can grow. So see, we got hay. I'm just growing zergium, I think rice or strawberries. I'm keeping it fairly simple. You just need to make sure you got food stockpile. And let's see, it's July right now. So when the winter comes, the winter seasons, your growing season ends and you can't grow. So for about 4 months, you are incapable of producing and harvesting through outside garden type means. So you have to stockpile a lot of food or have hydroponics built, which I have on the inside, but I've been playing for a while. I've already been through a winter. Have I been through a winter? Maybe I haven't. It doesn't matter. But you got to make sure you stay warm in the winter, cool in the summer. So my people are resting right now. I said we faced some attacks. We handled it. But of course, people took damage. One of my guys has his foot shot off. So he's walking around without a foot. When I get further along and have researched more or get more money, I'll buy parts like prosthetic legs, and I can install it. You can do operations. I'll probably put a wooden leg on him, which he'll be able to walk fully, but it'll be slower. But once you get to prosthetics, metal type prosthetics, they'll be able to move at a more regular rate. And when you get to bionic limbs, you bionic now, it'll boost your speed or your productivity, your hauling, your planting by like 25%, 30%. So you start turning into a superhuman. And that can be beneficial later on in the game. You'll want to just turn your people into superhumans. Which is something coming in the future. Superhumans, bionic arms and legs. People just chop their arm off and just put a robotic arm on there so they can just terminate you. Just choke you out. So yeah, lift up a car. Hey, man, I need a little help, man. Can you lift my car up? Sure. I got you. Car lifted. Yeah. So anyway, those are the type of things that you can do in this game, which makes it cool. I'm running out of steel, like I said, because I've been using it. I didn't really think about it initially when I started building all of this stuff, because necessity just dictated that I had this heat wave coming and I had to build AC units and vents. So it has taken all of my steel. So these last couple vents I can't build. So I have to mine. And you have to mine a lot in this game as well too, for resources. Because right now I'm vulnerable. A mad animal. See, just randomness happens. Animals go mad. Cold snaps. You have solar eclipses where your solar panels won't work. Okay. So this rabbit is chasing. And you see how much faster. Now you see this person, Alita, and she's hauling a deer, and she was still out moving C, who has nothing, but C has his foot shot off. But C is one of my original colonists. He's based on me. So of course he's very intelligent, very charismatic. He can build, he can craft, he can shoot weapons. Like, he's nice. He is the ultimate warrior, the ultimate soldier of the future, soldier of fortune. But this crazy hair was attacking me. I'm getting rabbit bites and scars. So look at that, bite hair teeth. It tells even when you get attacked. Heat stroke. See, I'm facing a minor heat stroke because of this heat. You never know how long things like heat waves will last. So, okay, facing bite scars from the animal. If you get shot, it'll tell you were shot by a turret, you were shot by an AK, you were shot by a bow and arrow. So instead of just fully killing that hare and probably taking him for food, which might have been actually useful, I captured him or rescued him, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to tame him and add him to my colony and my creation of robot hares, soldier hares that I send to attack. Because you can tame these animals and make them attack. They have these things called boomalopes, by the way. Boomalopes are like camels with these it looks like pus pies. You know how you burn yourself and you get pus on you? But imagine a camel with these large sacks on their back, but the sacks are full of some explosive chemical, and whenever you shoot the camel and kill it, it blows up in a major way, like you threw a grenade. Now that's the second. It's cool they threw these in here because it's almost futuristic and it's the planet you landed on. So they have this thing called boom rats. Boom rats are similar. You kill a boom rat and it'll explode in a small radius. You can start fires. You can hurt people that are around it. Boom rats are small, like squirrels, so you really think they're not going to cause that much damage till it explodes. Well, boomalopes, if you think, they're probably 5 times as big as a rat because it's like a camel. So imagine the explosiveness of this camel that's full of these toxic explosive sacks on his back. So I mean, you can use that almost as a war tactic. You get a lot of boomalopes if you're able to tame them without them turning on you and exploding on you. And you start breeding them, and you got 10, 20 boomalopes, and somebody raised you send them at them, and boom, I mean, they'll explode, and it's like a 50-yard radius. Oh, cool. C is fully healed after the rabbit attack. Probably didn't take that much, just a little bit of rest, but they like to let you know. So yeah, those are some of the cooler animals, some of the futuristic or alien to us as earthlings animals that are within this game. So I can say very cool, very cool. As I spoke earlier, even to the simplicity of the graphics, which allows them to put a lot into the gameplay. Being that this is still the alpha phase, even though the game has been around for about a year or two, maybe a couple years. Oh, look, they're all facing serious heat strokes. But C is especially. The people down here aren't facing it because they have coolness in their rooms. But even with the simplicity of the graphics, it may change when it's finally released. Right now, it's kept this way so that, like I said, you're not straining your computer trying to render these high-def graphics. But the final product, I don't know what they'll add. I don't know the benefit of, other than aesthetically, legs moving, or you seeing arms swaying as they walk around, or maybe seeing them pick up or hold things. It really is just adding more to the programming language, and it may not be beneficial. So this may be the graphical look of the game, even when it's fully released, but it could change. It could change. C, he's already on his own seeking a safe temperature, so he's down here in the frost area, we'll call it, because it's 32 degrees in there. I got it pumped up with all of these AC units. I made him a bed spot in someone else's room. Even though that disturbs their sleep, I need him to stay cool, because if he gets a heat stroke, he'll be sick and his mental capacity could break. They'll break and they'll start wandering around. They'll go berserk sometimes, and they'll start attacking their own colonists. So the last thing we want is C to start shooting or going and fighting and beating up other colonists. So we'll work on that when we come back. I think this is a good place to end. You can't see me, Rimworld Alpha 12. We're moving, we're progressing, we're building. I'm really enjoying this game. Make sure you check it out. Check out the game. Links are below in the description. And make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. Keep up with the series and the channel. And let me know, in the comments what you think about the game, how you've been enjoying it. All right. You can't see me, Rimworld Alpha 12. You know what you must do. You know what you must do. All right. Make your next move Your best move. Peace.
You can see me, your favorite gamer.
First on the track.
Zoom, 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 let go. Zoom, 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 let go.